Hey, what's up guys? Well, I'm in the gym working out. It's back day and I'm in between sets doing pull-ups behind the neck. 3 sets of 10, and I know I should be focused on my workout, but I'm so excited. I got 3 Steve Reeves pictures face down, and I'm gonna hang them at some point during this workout, during or after, and just wanted to share this with you. It's always cool to add some new stuff. So I'm just trying to figure out where I might want to hang. Maybe over there. Not really enough room up there. So these pennants are for athletes that I've trained, and so I want to leave that blank in case I get another another one or two. I hope they can add their college pennant up there. We got West Texas A&M, Austin College. I've got 2 guys that went there for football, Western Kentucky and then Nevada. I already got Steve over here, Perfection in the Clouds, my old training partner and his wife, Mike Scarcella, when he won Mr. America. John Sherman, who was my training partner for a short period of time when he lived in Austin, IFBB Pro John Sherman, he had great symmetry. Dave Draper, and this very classic picture of him squatting 405, right? Yeah, 405. Lee Priest over here, business partner and training partner every once in a while. Tom Platz, very famous picture. Steve over here in Florida showing us the triceps. I've been really working on my outside head of my triceps with that dumbbell cross-body tricep move that I'd pretty much forgotten about. Lou Ferrigno, one of my favorite pictures here of Arnold. Love that. What was he thinking? Was it leg day? Was he like, oh God, I feel like I'm getting ready to throw up, but I gotta do this, I gotta push, you know? I mean, that's a crazy picture. I'd love to know what he was thinking right there. I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna hang those 3 pictures. I'm gonna show you what they are. And then there's a story about them as well, so hang tight. Three sets of pull-ups behind the neck, wide grip for 10 on each set. And the second exercise is V-bar, T-bar, close grip rows with Steve Reeves' actual V-bar handle. How's that for motivation? So I finished the workout with good mornings for lower back. I was reading somewhere recently, I think it was Building the Classic Physique the Natural Way, could have been Dynamic Muscle Building, one of those 2 books, where Steve was noticing his lower back was not coming along as he had hoped. He wasn't training it directly. So I try to do good mornings, hyper extensions for lower back, of course deadlifts as well. And I don't know if you remember, but there's a very famous picture of Steve training Bo Derek on a knee raise hyper extension. And that was a really interesting piece of equipment. I wish I knew what happened to it. And so I don't know if he built that himself, because it doesn't look like it's commercial grade. Anyway, these are Steve Reeves 20-pound dumbbells, and I was using these for the incline dumbbell curls. A little light. I usually use 30, and you know, once you get to 12, you go up. So start with 15-pound dumbbells, get 12 reps. Then go to 20-pound dumbbells and keep going up. Great exercise, good stretch on an incline. 3 sets of 8 to 12. That's all you need for biceps. All right, let's go. Workout over. So picture number 1. Ta-da. You guys are gonna know that, right? Joe Weider and Steve Reeves. See if I can get out of this glare. There we go. Joe Weider and Steve Reeves. 1983 at Valley Center. You can see there's an award of some sort on the back wall over here. And they are on Steve's Universal Centurion multi-station weight machine, his Universal, doing leg presses. Steve wearing a belt right there. And you know, this reminds me, because somebody had asked why Steve never wore shorts. And that is interesting, you know. It's very rare as he got, you know, past his bodybuilding years, which his last contest was when he was 24. Very rarely did you see him wearing shorts. Anybody know why? I don't. But here he is again, wearing sweats. Of course, Joe is wearing business clothes. But the story is, Joe came out to Valley Ranch to interview Steve because Steve had released Power Walking, and Joe wanted to know about that. And the two of them shared a workout on Steve's Universal. Now, as far as I know, this is Steve's picture here. Steve's personal copy of this picture. Wow, huh? So this is one of the pictures I'm going to hang up here in the gym. Let's go to the next one. I've got 3. Let's see what we got here. All right. Haha, there we are again. Wearing long pants on the leg press, on the Universal, wearing a cool looking workout jacket and dress shoes, whatever. That's Steve Reeves, Hercules. He can wear whatever he wants. So there was a workout that Steve did on this leg press, and I'm going to have to get the details and put text up here on the video. But he knocked out X number of reps. I think it was 1,000 reps with, I want to say 300 pounds. Now you can look at his legs there and see how close those knees are coming into his stomach. So that's a pretty good range of motion. It's not half reps. And also he was 6'1", so he had long legs. 1,000 reps, and he also gave us a time as to how long it took. So this picture is picture number 2 that's going up inside of his home gym there at Valley Center. Thinking of the Dallas Cowboys, Valley Ranch. Valley Center, just outside of San Diego. And so 1983, Steve was born in 26, so he was 57 years old here. Both these guys look good. Look at the tan Steve has, you know, working on a ranch. That's not makeup. Those days were over. That's just being out in the sun. Good old California suntan. All right, we got one more picture that's going to go up. Let's see what we got here. And there it is. That is the Centurion, I think I'm saying that right, Universal multi-station weight set. So this was an upgraded model. Steve had made some modifications to it, but Steve did something here so that this bar, this pull-down bar, was able to be hung. It almost looks like there is a little attachment right there at the top of my thumb, if I can point the camera where I need to. So Steve would take this bar and hang it up here to get it out of the way, because I guess he would bang his head on it, being 6'1". So you got pull downs, you got pull-ups, you got bench press, you got knee raises, you got shoulder press, leg press, and then it comes with the flat bench, and then you got a stool over here for the military press and the pull downs. And look over here on the wall, see if you recognize that picture. So this once again was in Valley Center, and I believe that that was the only picture he had of himself in his home gym, was perfection. And then I can't tell, but back over here on the wall you can see some plaques, awards, and then at one point he had his trophy case back here. There's pictures circulating of that. I don't know what happened to that picture. I don't have it. I don't believe that's it. I have this picture, but the one with the Universal looks a little bit bigger to me, so I'm not sure what happened to that one right there. And then lastly over here, here's the magazine, Muscle and Fitness, and this was 1983, May 1983. Steve would pass away 7 years later, May 1st in 2000. This Muscle and Fitness was May 1983. And another thing is that around 1985, just a side note, when I first started working out, I was in a grocery store and I bought a copy of Muscle and Fitness, and I believe it was one with Bob Paris on the cover, and I just read it cover to cover. So it would have been really weird if this would have been the first one that I ever bought, but this was 2 years before I got into serious lifting. And so inside of this magazine you've got some art. I think I've shown these before on my Instagram page, Steve Reeves Hercules on Instagram. And then power walking over here, and this was what Steve had just released, which prompted Joe to come down and do this story on Steve. This is a great issue. If you're a Steve Reeves fan, it is a great issue. So let's look at page 116. I believe he mentions the Jaguar, as I should say. People remind me to say Jaguar. So this is an article by Armand Tanny, who knew Steve very well. Story about those two guys. Those were the only two that could clean that 220-pound bar from the knees. Remember that story? So Armand is the author of this article, and he talks about his 14-acre ranch over here near Mount Palomar, which is where Steve would ride his horses. And I think I had also seen that a lot of this was lifted from Milton T. Moore Jr.'s Steve Reeves book, A Tribute, and then One of a Kind, without giving Milton any sort of credit. I'm just passing along what I heard. Here it is. Even his 12-cylinder Jaguar is sucking wind up a steep 3-mile incline as he shows me where he makes his regular bicycle training climbs on his Schwinn Sidewinder with the fat lug tires. Now George told me, and I'm pretty sure this is the bike George was talking about, that Steve didn't like the Schwinn Sidewinder because the stroke, the pedaling action, wasn't to his liking. So after the Schwinn came the specialized team version, which I have. You can see that video elsewhere on this channel. So Armand Tanny rode in the Jaguar as well. I'm always trying to figure out who rode in this. We know his wife, Aline, rode in it. We know that Armand rode in it. We know that George Helmer and his wife rode in it. And we know that Joe Vitale rode in it. Who else, I wonder? Wondering if bodybuilding, royalty. Maybe George Eiferman? Maybe Jack LaLanne, two of his best friends. I don't know. Anyway, so this issue has a lot of great Steve Reeves. Somebody was talking recently about how Steve's shoulder width, and I'm just paraphrasing what they said, they didn't think his shoulder width was as wide as Don Howarth. Now look at this picture right here. That might be one of the greatest pictures of Steve's shoulder width right there with a small waist. I mean, come on, look at that. That picture says it all right there. So this is a great issue of Muscle and Fitness. Lots of pictures of Steve. That one right there, very classic. There he is with the 1950 bronze sandal. Aline right here. Very attractive woman. Aline. And a princess. Sure was. There they are. What a great picture there. It just goes on and on. Long Road from Hell, firing his single action army Colt 45, 1874. You didn't think I knew that, huh? Ah, I was talking about this. Here it is. So this right here is how Steve trained his lower back. Not all the time, but sometimes. On the other end of this is a knee raise for training your abs. In the background is his ranch, Valley Center, Steve. Bo Derek from the movie 10. Imagine that. Having Bo Derek training on your hyperextension and being her trainer. Steve was friends with her husband, John, and so they would visit each other. Over here, Steve and Aline and a horse. Over here, man, it just goes on and on. Jaguar in the back, Jaguar in the back. Look how happy Steve looks. I mean, that's everything right there. He's got his ranch, he's got his horses, he's got his Jaguar, he's got his Sandow trophy. I see one of them. I see 1948 Mr. Universe trophy right here. I see Mr. World, I see Mr. America, and the Pacific contest that he won. Here he is with Joe, showing him pictures. And you know, wouldn't you love to be in on that conversation? And I'm sure Joe loved his time there. And then over here, watching some slides. Wonder whatever happened to those slides. I don't know. But I'd like to know. Here we go. So here's that picture right here. I don't know if this is the original from that photograph that was taken. It obviously is a lot bigger than that right there. I don't know if this is even available, but this right here was actually Steve's. And then here we've got Aline and Steve on the ranch. And there you go. So, a little longer than I thought, but hope you got something out of that. I'm sure you did. It's Steve Reeves. So I'm going to finish up by showing you where I hang these. I'll be back. Alright guys, here's what I decided on. Picture number 1, right there. Front and center. Picture number 2, right next to it. And I love this because I will be able to explain to my clients, my athletes that I train, my kids, and I'll be able to look and think about it front and center. Talk about who Steve was and this time in his life. So that's very exciting for me. And then the last one, the third one I put over here, and I think Lou would really like that. Right next to Lou Ferrigno. Alright guys, well there you go. There's my picture update. You guys have a great day, and I will see you next time.